I remember as a little girl, I was at my grandparents' farm, and it was a normal morning. We had, my grandmother and I had worked in the garden, and we had, collected the eggs and fed some animals. But the weather started changing. And it was just my grandmother and I on the farm that day. And the weather, this is Kansas. So when the weather gets a little wonky and it starts turning kind of yellow or green outside, the color of the sky, that is tornado. Tornado is coming. So the wind starts to to whip up. And I remember she grabbed my hand. I'm probably 8. And we go down into the root cellar. If you don't know what that is, it's literally a hole in the ground. And back then there was 2 wooden doors, and there's just a big 2x4. When she closed them from the inside and we were in the cellar, she just put a big 2x4 into place across that door. And it was held in place by these iron bars that was inserted into the ground. And anyway, there we were. We had our flashlight, and she went ahead and lit a lantern and turned the flashlight on, and there we sat. And it wasn't very long later, we hear the roar. And it sounds like a big freight train. It's like this huge roar. And you can hear things whipping around and hitting the door. But what got my attention more than anything else, and I remember this really clear, is I could see the wooden doors start to bow. And they were like breathing. It was like, oh, whoa. Because the wind is sucking the air, and it had actually turned out the lantern. And so she had to put on the flashlight again. My point is, she never panicked. Ever. Stoic, calm. She might not have felt like that inside, but she was on the outside. She stayed calm. And I heard her pray. I knew Grandma prayed. She always prayed silently. Not that day. That day, she prayed holding me tight and prayed in my ear. I remember that. The point of this story is, in the times of struggle and chaos, we can either turn to the Lord and have peace and pray, or we can run around screaming and getting nowhere. So I want to encourage you. So whatever storms that happen in your life, get into a quiet place. Pray, because your Father is always listening. Always listening. He's waiting for you to talk to him. Pray it out. Stand firm. He is always, always going to help us, even in the storms. Blessings.